Hey everyone, this is Living Dead Gal and welcome back to another Sims 4 video. Welcome to the channel if you are new. Today we are doing the next installment in my realistic Townie Makeover series, and the chosen one for today is the mysterious Greg from the Werewolves pack. So I am working my way through the Werewolves Townies as I continue to go through my Runaway Teen Wolf Let's Play, if you have seen that. And I'm kind of going in order of what makes logical sense based on how I'm going to be interacting with some of these characters. And for those of you who have been watching the series, you probably don't know this yet, but Greg is going to play an integral role in the next episode that I upload, and he's actually going to be a pretty important part of the series moving forward. So for Greg, I did a couple of things that are a little bit outside the box of his original design, and I definitely, for his makeover, I did not follow kind of the look and feel of his Maxis design. I really did stray from that. Of course, I didn't update his bone structure or anything like that. I haven't really done that too much since the Vampire Townies, which was like the first set of makeovers I did, but I've been trying to kind of leave bone structure as is unless I feel that there's something super unrealistic that I do need to change, which is what I did with Vlad. But for Greg, I kept everything the same, but I did change his overall sort of style based on the lore that was written for him, and also kind of how I see him and how he is going to play a role in my series as well. So one of the things that I did for him is I added in some body scars because I figured, you know, based on his story and his lore and just his overall demeanor and how he behaves in the game, he's probably been through some stuff, probably gotten some wounds while he's, you know, out rampaging because his fury has kind of, you know, absorbed him and taken over him. So I definitely wanted to include that detail, and I also did give him a tattoo. Now I know that the design of Greg doesn't have any tattoos in the game, but I thought that, you know, I wanted that because I wanted to give a nod to his late wife, Avelina, and this is part of the in-game lore. Avelina Lovnik, she was actually a werewolf who discovered the effects of the lunar cycle on wolves, and she actually, like, her name is in that telescope that we got with the pack. So I kind of, it's hard to see the tattoo, but the tattoo is actually of a wolf howling at the moon, and so I thought that maybe he got that tattoo to kind of represent her, and a lot of the way that I designed him and some of the things I added for him are nods to her. Like for instance, he did have a wedding ring in his original design. He has that on all his outfits, so I made sure to give him a CC wedding ring, or wedding band, so that he has all of that, and that's going to be kind of crucial to his character in my story as well. And for his design, everything else I kind of deviated from. I wanted to kind of keep him still being, you know, in that sort of adult look, and he does have gray hair, so I did want to go with the sort of graying hair and those features. I ended up going with like a little bit more of gray with some black in it because he is at that adult age. I didn't want to go too extreme, but I also didn't want him to look super youthful either. Now, with some of the skin detailing and the limitations you have in Sims, both with CC and with the in-game items, I didn't get him to look quite as old as I wanted to because some of the wrinkles I would have used were conflicting with some of the skin details I wanted to use, and I ended up actually picking out a set of eye bags that I thought worked a little bit better for him. For his hair, though, I struggled with his hair because I was going back and forth between two different hairs by Wings, and my issue was the two that I liked best. One of them I actually already used on Vlad for a Townie Makeover, one of my first Townie Makeovers, and I try not to reuse hairs when I can, at least like for this series. This hair I ended up going with, and I love it on him, but it was a little awkward because I actually used this for one of my main characters in my Crybaby Whims Let's Play, if you've seen that. So it felt weird and wrong to put it on another sim, but at the same time, you know, you only have so many hair options, and really like this, it was a small grouping of hair by Wings that had this sort of like, you know, I guess salt and pepper, but like that had the sort of like darker gray style with some black roots, and I wanted that because it kind of matched the facial hair that I had picked out for him, because a lot of the other gray alpha hairs that I have are a little bit more of like a platinum, like super light gray, and I think that's something that I would do more when he's in like the elder stage. So I wanted something that felt older but still in the adult age range, you know, maybe like he's in his late 40s. That's kind of what I'm imagining for him, maybe mid to late 40s as his age range, possibly a little younger. You know, we'll say that the werewolfing makes him look more youthful. Let's go with that. So anyway, for his style, that was kind of an issue I was running into, because for his style, I wanted him to be very rugged, and I wanted it to look like, you know, he's out living in that trailer. He's out kind of surviving on his own. And the way that his Maxis design is, and, you know, I don't mean anything, you know, negative towards the person who did design his character, but he just seems very classy. He's wearing a lot of suits, and it almost felt kind of like an old school like vampire look to me, and it didn't really feel like the sort of wild werewolf that I'm getting from Greg. And so I wanted to go with something a little more wild, a little bit more messy. And so, you know, for his everyday look, I picked this shirt that's a little bit more kind of open and like sloppy, and then like the undershirt is like torn and tattered, because, you know, I mean, that's kind of the theme with all the wolves in this pack, is we want to give them torn and tattered clothes, right? Because they're constantly ripping up their clothes. I can see maybe like the Moonwood collective dressing a little bit more prim and proper, and that's why we have more of that like cottagey looking clothes that came with the pack. I feel like those are more of like the Moonwood collective. And even though Greg is a loner and he's out on his own, he's not part of either pack, I feel like his style fits in a little bit more with like the Wildfangs than it would with the Moonwood collective. So I definitely went for a little bit more of a rebellious style for him. Now, as far as color schemes, I realized when I was done that I basically made his clothes kind of match his hair. So everything is very monochromatic, very black and gray. It just seemed to fit him. It just seemed to work, especially kind of with this loner look. And that was kind of what I wanted to go for. So not a lot of color in his wardrobe, but I thought that suited Greg. And, you know, I was really focusing on the loner aspect for him when I was considering his style and the different pieces that I added to him. I did also give him the necklace that came with the pack. I was thinking maybe that was a necklace that also belonged to his wife. That's kind of my thinking behind it. There's no like lore or anything that seats that. That's just kind of a second nod that I wanted to do for her. For his sportswear, I had to give him the shirt that said "Out of Control," because I like some of these little on-the-nose jokes that I can add when I do these Townie makeovers, and let's face it, Greg is out of control. So anyway, as far as other things, I just added like a little ear piercing, because again, like I wanted him to have this sort of rebellious, rugged, like look to him, you know, that was definitely different. Like I didn't want him to have the sort of classy suit vibe that his Maxis design had, because it just didn't feel like it worked for me as far as where he's living and how he's behaving now. That didn't fit his character for me in my mind, and also for the way that I want to tell my story in my Let's Play. So, you know, I dressed him in things that were youthful, but things that, you know, I weren't too youthful. I had to be careful, and I'm not saying too much because I can't really talk about what his involvement is going to be in my series yet, because it hasn't happened yet. But I had to kind of be careful with how I dressed him and kind of be conscious of like, you know, where he sits as far as like his age range and the timeline of all of the other characters in the series. I know it's a very mysterious way of wording it, but that's all I'll say on that. So really, you know, everything else for his design, like you can kind of see how everything sort of comes together. I tried to kind of keep him still like differentiated from Lou and Rory, but kind of like having his own vibe. One thing I did is I did add a bracelet or like a wristlet armband from the Realm of Magic pack, because it did say that Greg was once a mooncaster from before he was turned into a wolf. So I wanted to kind of have that nod to, you know, sorcery and magic. And again, like that kind of helped guide his style for me, because I kind of did like a mix for him of the way I had styled the Realm of Magic Townies and the way I'm styling the Wolf Townies, and I kind of did like a blend between the two for Greg's look. So anyway, I have babbled and babbled. I hope you guys don't mind that I did something kind of drastically different for Greg's design and for his look. I had a lot of fun with it, but I definitely was overthinking it quite a bit. I mean, I even went for his formal wear and changed his shoes. He had really fancy shoes and I changed them back to less fancy shoes because again, I wanted it to feel wolfy, and I just don't think werewolves would really have like these fancy suits, you know? They're a little bit more animalistic. I mean, you know, they turn into animals. So anyway, that is about it for the Greg's makeover. I hope you like his look. If you did enjoy this video, please just do hit that thumbs up button. That lets me know that you'd like to see more of these Townie makeovers. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!